Namaste, gods, goddesses, and emissaries of light. This is Dr. Tajen. Welcome to my channel. I am going to do a pick a card. We have the lepidolite. We have the epidote. And then we have the moonstone, the black moonstone. Because there's different varieties of moonstone. And for the sake of clarity, I just want to clarify that it is the black moonstone. All right, I want you to take a really good look at the card. This is card number 1. This is card number 2. And this is card number 3. So from there, I want you to be able to pick your cards, whichever card that you choose. And I'll go ahead and get into the reading. First, let me get some help. I call in air, fire, water, earth, spirit, and ether. I also call upon source energy to be able to give me this interpretation in this moment in all directions in time and space for the ascension process for not only myself, but also for others. And so it is. Namaste. All right. First, before I get into this reading, this stone brings back so many memories for me and my baby. The very first stone I've ever purchased or gave my baby was a lepidolite. This is in a raw form, which is, oh my God, it's so much more beautiful in a raw form. But it's still beautiful nonetheless. I gave it to him because he worked nights and it was hard for him to sleep. And so this helps with relaxation and de-stressing and some other things as well that I helped him with, which is personal. But anyway, it just brought back a memory, a fond memory. Don't you just love this journey? It's just full of just so many beautiful memories. All right. So anyway, the whole purpose of why I chose to do this reading is because, one, I charged to do this and it's in more detail, and I don't even use these cards. I just picked these cards up today. And let me tell you how I picked these cards up. There was a place that I first started going to, a metaphysical shop, when I was awakened, and they moved. So something told me out of the blue today to go there, and I know why now, because I had to do this reading for you with these beautiful cards. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. This is so you can know what is blocking your union. You have the Tarot card, which represents spiritual awakening. I'm going to read what's on the card and then I'll give you my interpretation, okay? All right. So it says, I am awakening by a disturbing jolt in my life. I am experiencing cracks in my foundation, and I know that they are the cracks that will expose the illusions that have kept me trapped and suppressed. I am gifted by this moment and by new understanding. I surrender and allow the issues that have been built outside of integrity to vanish, and I will allow a new strong foundation to become one with my mission. I am growing. All right. So what I'm getting from this is a divine masculine, because this is the masculine symbol or the male symbol. Then you have a 1 here for new beginning, and then you also have a 6 here for balance. So you've put them together, that makes 7, which is for higher wisdom. So your wisdom right now is coming from above. It's coming from the divine, and also your guides, your angels, your way shores, your ancestors. You have so many friends in the spiritual realm. And what I'm looking at here is that you are awakening to this truth. As for before you were awakened, you were turning a blind eye to your spirituality. Okay. You were so disturbed by your friends and family. That's why it jolted you. Something just happened in your life that woke you the fuck up. Seriously. I'm not saying that you were completely in your slumber, because you have pretty much always been awakened, but you were not fully awakened because there were some parts of you that you hid, that you did not want the rest of the world to see, like your friends and family. It was almost like you were a people pleaser. You wanted to make them happy in some type of way to make yourself fit in, and you actually never did. You always stood out. It was always obvious to everyone around you that you were different. You were not like anybody that is in your circle. You were always like the black sheep of your family. And this moment, it really helped you to awaken of how you felt about the divine feminine. Okay. Now, for those of you that are in this twin flame journey, please understand, and overstand that the divine masculine can be a divine, it can be a divine feminine too. It could be a divine feminine with masculine energy, or that, you know, has the divine masculine dominant in her. Okay. So it's not gender specific. We're not talking about sex here. We're talking about an energy for those of you that are new on the twin flame journey. Okay. Now, also, this reading is for soulmates as well. So take it as it resonates with you. But I'm getting that you realize that from the very beginning that you weren't completely honest. And it wasn't that you were being mischievous or you were being, devious or deceptive. It was that you never experienced something like this before. I have to tell you that the twin flame dynamic and the energy from it is very powerful. It's unparalleled to none. There is no comparison. It's not like 3D relationships. And that is what you're waking up to. You're starting to come to a realization that those old paradigms in the 3D realm and those old templates, they no longer serve you in this higher dimensional level of thinking and consciousness. Right now, you are actively being a co-creator, a conscious co-creator with source energy, and you are awakening up to your true self. And it disturbed you what you saw. When you finally got awakened, the lens became very clear and the blinders fell off. You recognize that there was not a good footing and a start for your union. And so all the illusions are now passing away, but those were the illusions that kept you trapped. They kept you in, depredation. And it also kept you in a point of where you finally realized who you are. You surrendered. And now you are allowing all these issues of the past to melt away. Do you see that storm raging there in those waters? That represents your life. And some of you are still in those waters, but you're coming out. So all the illusions are beginning to vanish and fall away. And now you're starting to see the clarity of how good it feels to have a new beginning and a new foundation. You didn't realize until you had this terror moment in your life how much the divine feminine meant to you. And now you see, you're feeling that under this attack that you were under, that you were trying to protect yourself. And it was just point where this wreckage and this destruction was really a moment that had to happen in your life in order for you to kind of like clear away the dross and all of the things that no longer served you, the friends and family alike that were put into your life at that certain time to test you from the universe to see where your loyalty lied. And it was not with the divine feminine. Your loyalty wasn't even to yourself because, as you said, you weren't even being honest and ethical with yourself. You didn't even have integrity in the situation altogether because you just did not know how. And it wasn't your fault. It was the way that you were raised. But as conscious creators, we don't make excuses. Right now, this block is being removed because the fact that you are bringing awareness to the situation by being on this pick a card reading, that is half the battle right there. And I'm gathering from this card that you are already at a place where you're growing exponentially and you are coming into your own. So this is no longer a block. The block has been removed. And if you accept this transmission, please say yes. And I call upon Michael the Archangel to remove all blocks in reference to this union in all directions in time and space. And so it is. And that was for those of you that chose card number 1. For those of you that chose card number 2, this is the epidote. That was a strong transmission. Sorry, you guys. All right. So at this moment, you have the 2 of Wands. This represents, when I look at this for number 2, it's a decision that needs to be made. Okay. And if you look at the emblem right here, the symbol, this is fire. This represents fire. Okay, so there's some type of action that has been blocking the union. I'm feeling that there's a rebirth that's going on with those of you that chose card number 2, okay? Let me go ahead and do the reading on here, and I'll get into the reading. I'm standing at the gate looking for the best place to express my creative energy. I will look at all of my options and find the best possible solution to guarantee my success. I am now ready to take the necessary steps to achieve my dreams. I now know my past supports me for my future decisions. It seems like some of you have been living in the past, and that's one of the things that have been blocking your union. But with spring comes a new renewed spirit and a rebirth. Okay, that's why I told you guys I feel a new spirit and a rebirth with you, and you have creativity, action, and passion. So you're moving towards this union with more optimism now, and you're starting to realize that the options that you had in the past were just way too many. Okay, now you're standing firm because you are at the gate. You have arrived at this place of this knowingness, this inner knowingness, and you know who you are now. You are no longer turning a blind eye to this union. You knew from the very beginning that this was something that was different. It was not like any other relationship that you have ever been in. And you knew that part of your success and where you are is because of the divine masculine or the divine feminine energy in its presence, because that whole dynamic and that whole energy is what fueled you to the point of where you are. If you look into movie stars' relationships, if you look into some of the biggest renowned leaders of the world and their relationships with their divine counterpart or their mates, we know that these are some of the most powerful people that are in history. And so with that being said, you are now recognizing where your bread and butter is, and that your bread is really buttered on both sides when you're in this union. So you already look around you and you've seen all that you have accomplished without your divine counterpart. Now you're coming into this realization of what you can do together. And that's the reason why it says, I now know my past supports me for my future decisions. So it seems like you've been through a lot in this union, and you have accumulated a lot along the way through experiences. So you're taking these experiences to make better decisions for your future with your divine counterpart, because you know that these things had to happen, and it got you into a place to where you have grown and you have turned into this beautiful being that is awakening to your divine purpose. You express yourself clearly and fully. Now this communication, I'm hearing, needs to be actualized and realized in your union. All right. Moving along to card number 3. For those of you that chose the Black Moonstone, this is the card that is here This is what it reveals. This is the Six of Cups. Six represents reconciliation, and also Cups deals with our emotions. So this definitely is a twin flame or soulmate. Okay, let me read what's on the card and I'll get into your reading. I am connected and willing to let go of the past wounds and pain so that I may stay connected to those that I am near at the present moment. I am ready for joy and fulfillment. I know that I deserve nothing less than equality, respect, and love, as do others. It is a gift to be connected. Okay, for those of you that chose card number 3, I'm feeling that you have felt disconnected from your twin. This is what has been blocking your union because you have failed to realize that you are always connected. You are always, no matter what, whether you feel that connection or that energy or not, you are always, I do not care what anyone else have told you. Listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. I've been on this journey for now 9 years with my man. Okay. You're always connected with your twin. There is no such thing as you've been disconnected. That's just like saying you're disconnected from source. You cannot be connected from your supply. He is your supply. She is your supply. That is your other half. Just look at you and that person as being two people that are one person that has been split in half. Okay? That's exactly what it is. Don't look at yourselves as being two individuals separately, but just look at yourself as being two energies that's really from the same source of energy. That's really one energy, because that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, you let a lot of hurt from your past relationships that don't even have to do with this twin flame dynamic or this soulmate relationship get in the way. Some of you have had childhood past traumas and hurts, and some of you have brought some things in from many lives. Okay, you incarnated with these past wounds and traumas, and they need to be healed. But now you're coming into that realization that you're willing to let go of that. Okay, so that healing needs to take place. I'll call upon Michael the Archangel to cut these cords and the ties to the past on all dimensions, on all levels of existence, in all directions in time and space. If you're willing to accept this transmission, please say yes. And so it is. So at this moment, you have now cut all the cords and ties to all of those things that no longer serve you. The entities, the energies, and all of that is being removed. And so now you're coming into this understanding and comprehending that you know that you deserve nothing less than the quality, respect, love, and also so do others. So I'm also picking up that there's been some abuse, and not only physically but also emotionally. How do I know that? Because now you're just now coming to this place of knowing that you deserve respect. That's how I know. And you deserve love. And so does others. So some of you are at this place now where you're even willing to let go of the union if this means happiness for the other person. So the block was living in the past. It's time for you to let go so you can have this beautiful union, because this card is giving you reconciliation with your twin. All right? This is a guarantee. This right here deals with you and your emotions and the deep waters that you've been swimming in. All right, so that will conclude my reading. It is a good karma to like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a donation, and also purchase from my wish list if you feel inclined to. I now wrap you in my love, and I cloak you with the light of Christ consciousness. And so it is, everyone. Namaste.